Haven't seen enough snow this winter?
My aunt sent it to me. I admired it when I visited her in India a few years back. Can't believe she remembered.
Well, it's not your birthday. What's the occasion?
She died.
Oh, God, Buck, I'm so sorry.
It's okay. It was a few weeks back. She'd been sick a while. Great lady, though. Always thinking of everyone else but herself.
Hey, I need you guys. There's a man here who's come in with the body of his employer.
Wow, that's loyalty.
Well, he was the man's caregiver. He wants to speak to an ME. He's pretty insistent.
Hi, I'm Dr. Jordan Kavanaugh. This is Dr. Vijay.
Owen Stanwood. Mr. Harvey here died peacefully in his sleep this morning at home. He was 92. I want to make sure he doesn't have to spend too much time in a place like this. It's not right, not dignified.
Well, his left pupil seems normal. His right pupil is dilated. Did Mr. Harvey have a history of stroke?
He had 3 transient ischemic attacks in the past 6 months.
Did he suffer from scleroderma?
Yes, amongst other things.
Are there any relatives?
His daughter, Julie.
Do you know how we can get in touch with her?
No, and I wouldn't bother. She didn't come to see him once in the past 18 months. Broke the poor man's heart.
He's lucky he had you.
I was the lucky one. I brought all his medical records, his prescription drug history, it's all there.
Wow, it looks like you've kept very thorough records.
Mr. Harvey was an organ donor.
Yes, it was a well-intentioned gesture, but considering his condition...
Oh, we'll make an assessment. Due to his age, I'm sure an autopsy won't be necessary.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much.
Dr. Macy.
Hey, Woody.
What we got?
Well, since they called for a medical examiner and a homicide detective, my guess would be a body.
Is sarcasm a prerequisite for being an ME?
It helps.
Garrett. I'm glad you're here.
Andrew, say hello to Detective Hoyt. It's Massport Chief Andrew Helm.
Hey, a passenger, Robert Castelli, flight 440 inbound from San Francisco. He gets in an altercation with an airport cop.
What kind of altercation?
He looks sick. The officer asks him if he needs help, but Castelli shoves him. One shove wins you a first-class ticket to security. Went blue during questioning. Paramedics couldn't revive him.
This ticket says Bangkok. That's where the flight originated. Picked up a virus over in Thailand?
That's the fear.
Should we get some masks in here?
A little late for that now.
We managed to stop the crew and most of the passengers before they left the airport. We're holding them until you tell me this isn't a patient zero situation.
The rash is most likely an allergy, but pinpoint people's frothy edema and a core temperature that must have dipped like a roller coaster. This is a narcotics OD.
Was he 22 years old? His whole life ahead of him. I'll never understand why they do it.
Garrett, are you sure this is an OD?
Yeah. Why?
Helen Sibling, 58. Was a baggage handler. Worked the conveyor belt. Co-worker said that she started to act funny, and then her legs just cut out from under her.
Another overdose.
In 1 hour, 2 people died 50 yards apart of the same thing.
At an international airport.
Are you sure that there isn't some virus that mimics an overdose? That's something that she could have caught from him?
This is Pathology 101. You got 2 ODs.
How do you catch a drug overdose?
Tell me why I shouldn't close down this entire airport.
Sorry. Oh, hey.
Everything okay?
I'm not so sure. According to Mr. Harvey's medical records, he took 200 milligrams of nutritional supplements a day. Just did a routine blood workup that says he was vitamin K deficient.
Well, I've got Julie Harvey in the conference room. Maybe she can explain it.
Wow, that was quick.
Well, she wasn't hard to find. She lives in Boston, right down the street from her father.
Man, that's cold. Living so close to a dying parent and never visiting?
That's the thing, Jordan. She claims they weren't estranged at all.
Miss Harvey, I'm Jordan Kavanaugh.
Owen Stanwood is a liar.
That's a serious accusation.
Well, so is saying that I don't care about my father. Maybe we didn't have a perfect relationship. I'm not exactly the easiest person to get along with. But we were civil to one another before Owen Stanwood came along.
What happened?
That man drove a wedge between us. He took advantage of my father's senility, kept him isolated, turned him against me.
Why would he do that?
I don't know. He's a strange man. He was overly protective of my father, always badgering me to fill out the do not resuscitate order, suggesting options to ease Dad into heaven.
Miss Harvey, I found an anomaly in your father's blood work. Initially, we didn't feel an autopsy was necessary, but after what you've just told us, I would like to do one.
Are you telling me that Owen Stanwood might have harmed my father?
I'm not sure. Let's see what your father's body tells us.
This doesn't make any sense, Dr. Macy.
If everything made sense, we'd both be out of a job. Trust me, it's an OD.
What are we talking here? A drug ring? A coincidence?
Helen Sibley was last drug tested on Tuesday. Negative. She's a model employee. She's been here 14 years. She took pride in the fact that she hasn't taken a sick day in the last 5. If I release the passengers and the crew from 440 and we trigger an epidemic...
Then hold them.
How fast can you get me an answer?
As soon as I get the bodies back to the morgue.
Could Castelli have had any contact with Helen Sibley? Some way he passed drugs?
So when are we going to find out?
Anybody slacks off, you know. Why didn't Castelli's bags go through customs?
They did when he transferred in San Francisco, and then they got rechecked on the leg to Boston.
All right, if that's Castelli's bag, and there are drugs in there, Sibley could have lifted them.
Play that again. Nope. Not unless she's Houdini. Hey, right there, the time code. That's when Castelli was detained.
When did she die?
35 minutes later. Fast forward.
There's no way she and Castelli could have had any physical contact. He's coming back from Thailand, which kind of screams drugs. Where are his suitcases?
I sent somebody to collect them. The bags are gone.
Sweet Nancy, look at this.
What? What is it?
Check out how many hits I'm getting on my website, nigelblog.com. I've been posting evidence on the Beacon Hill murders. 3 years ago, 3 bodies were found.
It's fascinating. Really, it's extremely fascinating. Did you get that footage I T3'd you over from Logan?
Yeah, I did. And fascinating it is, too.
It's gonna get better, I promise. You know what? Could you fast forward it a little bit? A little more. Keep going, keep going. More. Stop, right there. That guy. Is there any way you can ID him?
Well, he's not exactly wearing a name tag, but, fret not. I still have a couple of unwrapped goodies in my bag of tricks.
Where's Dr. Macy?
Try trace.
I got nothing so far.
Not exactly setting the world on fire myself. Waiting on the tox screen results.
Doctor was next to Ken yet?
He had a fiancée. We still haven't been able to reach her.
Kate Daly. There's an address here. I'll go track her down.
I did talk to Mrs. Sibley's husband and son, though, and they both say it's ridiculous to think she would take heroin voluntarily.
It's a little difficult to take heroin accidentally. That leaves murder.
How do you figure?
What if this were some kind of cleanup operation? All right, we have a courier and we got a baggage handler. Let's say they work for some sort of heroin smuggling ring. Once the drugs come, their job is over. They're killed.
By drug overdose?
I'm riffing here. Work with me. My guess is it has something to do with the bags.
What bags?
Some guy came and took Castelli's bags off the baggage carousel.
No ID yet, Woody, but it's confirmed. Both victims definitely OD'd on heroin.
And we're sure that there's no way that that could be a coincidence.
Not a chance. I checked. Both doses came from the same batch.
Castelli was rushed straight to security. Helen Sibley died near baggage handling. The two had no contact with each other.
And I can't determine how the drug got in their systems. No needle marks, no evidence that they smoked it or snorted it.
Wait a minute. What we're saying here is that someone's figured out how to give people lethal doses of heroin without them knowing it?
Yep. At Logan Airport.
75,000 people a day come in and out of the greater Boston area.
And we still have no idea how they're doing it.
Mr. Harvey is in drawer 18.
Well, at least science is on our side. If Stanwood pulled a Kevorkian on this guy, I'll nail him.
What is it?
He should only be wrapped up like this if someone already opened him up.
You don't think one of the donor procurement agents came in without us knowing?
Not without me or Bug signing off.
He's not on the autopsy schedule. Someone must have made a mistake.
Yeah, one we're all gonna pay for. Oh, tell me that's not Mr. Harvey's liver.
What's the matter?
Bug, you autopsied Mr. Harvey without permission.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry.
What were you thinking?
I can't explain.
Please, help me out here.
Mr. Harvey suffered from scleroderma. It's a deadly skin disorder. The pain is excruciating, but there's no cure.
Bug the liver?
Well, my aunt had the same disease, but died from liver failure, so I got to thinking there's no serious research being done on scleroderma and liver dysfunction. And since Mr. Harvey was an organ donor...
No, that's no excuse.
Oh, come on, Jordan. I mean, it's not like you haven't broken the rules before. I mean, you've done a dozen things that should have landed you in prison.
Not only did you do this without authorization, but you broke the chain of evidence.
What evidence? He was an old man who died of natural causes.
We're not so sure of that.
So even if we find evidence of foul play, it'll be challenged in court as inadmissible. You know, Bug, I hope for the sake of your job you come up with a better excuse than that.
Bug? Hey. What's really going on here?
My aunt, she died slowly and painfully from a terrible disease, and I just felt like I had to do something.
Never seen him before.
He's the man who took your fiance's luggage out of baggage claim.
This doesn't make any sense. Robert told me that he was going to the library while I worked in the dark room.
When was that?
Thursday around 6.
And you weren't suspicious when he didn't show up for 3 days?
He's done this before. Sleeps at a friend's house. We were having some problems. God, he said it was behind him. I was so convinced that he was clean.
Addicts can be good liars.
Oh, how could I have been so stupid?
Do you have any idea how he could have left here that night and ended up in Thailand 19 hours later?
No idea.
Well, if we could retrace his steps, who he talked to, where he went, was he alone?
I told you I have no idea.
We have his credit card records, and he spent $57 Thursday night at a bar called The Hangar. Do you know it?
Yeah, it's a college hangout 4 blocks away.
I'm very sorry for your loss. I know how it feels to hear that someone you loved is not who you think they are.
Have you seen this guy?
Dude, I see so many faces in here. I have no idea who that is.
How about this guy?
Sorry.
He was in here on Tuesday night. You work Tuesdays, right?
Yeah?
You tell me you don't remember a guy who ran up a $60 bar tab?
I don't look at him, dude. You make eye contact with him, you end up listening to their problems. I don't wanna.
I know that guy. Remember, he comes in here with his girlfriend sometimes. He was in here on Thursday. He was nervous.
About what?
He said he was leaving that night at like 10 o'clock and he hated flying.
Drinking up a little courage.
Yeah. I told him he was going to miss his flight. He said he could cut it close because he wasn't checking any baggage. This picture... Is he, like, dead?
Yeah.
Oh, my God. What happened?
Was he alone?
Yeah.
Did he say where he was going or why?
Not where. All he said was if he took this trip, he'd finally have enough money to buy an engagement ring.
Can we get some service over here?
I gotta go.
Hey, I just got a call from Julie Harvey wondering how the autopsy is going.
Well, nothing suspicious so far. Lucky for Bug.
Hey, I know what he did was really stupid, but his heart was in the right place.
I'll explain that to Julie Harvey.
Uh-oh. This is not a good news face.
I ran Mr. Harvey's liver through the mass spectrometer and found a small dose of warfarin.
Well, there's a smoking gun.
What's warfarin?
It's a blood thinner. The last thing a person prone to TIA should be taking.
Also explains the vitamin K deficiency.
So either Mr. Stanwood accidentally gave Mr. Harvey the wrong medication.
Or he's an angel of death. This evidence would have nailed Stanwood's ass to the bedpan.
So what do we do now?
I have to tell Julie Harvey the truth.
No, Jordan, I do. I screwed this up. I have to make it right.
No, but telling Julie Harvey what happened doesn't get Stanwood off the streets.
Hey, Lily's right. We have to find some other way of proving that Stanwood did this.
But without Mr. Harvey's body?
Wait, if he's done this once, then he's done it before.
If that's true, there could be another body out there. Maybe more.
We get a list of his past employers. We could look for any similar deaths.
Well, how will that prove he killed Mr. Harvey?
It doesn't. But if there's a pattern and we can pin another murder on him, at least it'll get him locked up.
And how do we get this list? I mean, it's not like we can just ask him for it.
Actually, I think we can. And I know the perfect guy to help us do it.
Where is Mother Lebowski currently living? In a group home down in Rhode Island. And I'm fine with keeping her there. Really fine. But the wife here wants her nearby. And what the wife wants, the wife gets.
What I really want is for her to move home with us, but she thinks my husband is an obnoxious jerk. Isn't that right, honey bun?
Well, thank goodness you don't feel that way, sweet pie.
Cool.
Taking care of a dying family member can put quite a strain on a marriage. You're smart to consider hiring a caregiver. Though, as I told you, I've already committed to a new client.
Yes, we know. But when I saw you in the morgue, how compassionate you were, I'm sure that we could improve upon whatever salary you're making.
This isn't about the money for me.
Well, good to know. Now, both of us feel very strongly that Mother Lebowski doesn't suffer in any way. So, how do you feel about DNRs?
I consider them an act of love.
Wow. I really admire your line of work, Mr. Stanwood. Taking care of people in their final days. I don't know how you do it.
Well, I admit it can be quite painful. I become very attached to my clients. But there's also a kind of a quieting hope.
How do you mean?
Almost as though for a brief second, I can see a portal open to God.
Huh.
Well, we'd really like to get the ball rolling. You know, in case your new client isn't long for this world. So if we could see a list of prior employment, of course. And this is everyone you've ever cared for.
My life's work.
Great. So let us do some detective work and check out your references. And we'll get back to you. Right, honey bun?
Whatever you say, pumpkin.
Tell me you're having better luck than I am.
Well, we're about to find out. I'm running a lip reading program. It's got 90% accuracy rate.
Lip reading? Does that really work?
Well, we'll see, won't we? Very exciting.
Exciting would be an ID on my bag snatcher.
Hey. Might be not a wasted trip after all. I'll meet you at Turd and North in about an hour.
Turd and North?
Like I said, 90%.
The fiancé thought that Castelli had cleaned up his act. Same old story with these people.
These people? Frankly, we don't know the whole story now, do we?
I know enough to know that he was lying to everyone in his life. That's what addicts do. End of story.
Yeah, it's a tad dogmatic, don't you think?
See, the problem is you never know before you start if you're going to be an addict or non-addict.
Woody.
And the best way not to fall into that pit is to never start.
Woody.
It's unlocked. Hello?
Lock the door.
Half the stolen property in Boston here in one convenient location.
It's Castelli's.
Weren't there 2 suitcases?
Yeah.
Hey, Woody, we've got another OD. Woody? Woody! Woody! Woody!
I don't know who he is.
Dr. Macy?
Nigel, where are you?
Dr. Macy, I need...
If you find the suitcases, don't touch anything in them. The heroin's in the clothes.
I know, it's too late. Send some paramedics. Third north.
They're on the way.
Right, third north.
You're lucky. A few more minutes, it could have been over.
Take it easy. Take it easy. Why is my arm killing me?
It's a shot of naloxone in your deltoid. It's a heroin antagonist. Kept you alive.
What?
The heroin's in the clothes.
Seriously in need of a warning label. It's the heroin on the sweater rubbed off on your gloves. You must have been scratching at your eye.
Your tear duct's a mucous membrane. You got a direct dose of heroin. You OD'd, Woody.
I was drugged?
Yeah. So was Castelli and the baggage handler.
Well, that's what's happened there. But at least the passengers on Flight 440 have been released.
Oh, damn it. The other suitcase is still out there. If someone else dies.
Hold on, we've been busy while you've been napping. Now, the bloke in there, the dead guy, he's not the one that stole the suitcases. He's his partner. He's got a record a mile long, breaking and entering petty theft, stolen goods.
So, who are we looking for?
One Dexter Pontillo. He's known for selling stolen goods out the trunk of his car.
He's got the second bag.
That is the current thinking, yeah.
He went from B&E to selling drugs?
It's possible. And if he or anyone else touches what's in it.
Hey, we're gonna need an APB to every ER in the city. Anybody comes in with a heroin overdose, they gotta alert us immediately.
Got it.
Thank you.
Let's get you checked out of the hospital.
Yeah, maybe later.
No, I'm serious.
So am I.
Hey, I think you need to go to a hospital.
Do I?
Yeah, you do. Woody! What's going on?
I can't believe this happened to me, Dr. Macy. Me of all people.
Could happen to any of us.
No, I hate drugs. I hate drugs. I've never so much as taken a... My brother had a problem. He's clean now, or so he says, but I watched what they did to him. I watched what they turned him into. I appreciate your concern, but I'm gonna go find this bag.
Stroke. 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 And stroke.
7 strokes out of 12 employers. What are the odds?
Yeah, well, I'm no mathematician, but I'd guess that...
10,217 to 1. Well, strokes account for 7% of all deaths, so then you take...
Yeah, the point is, it sounds like we got an angel of death.
Now we just have to prove it.
Yeah, well, good luck with that, sweetie pie.
Thanks for the support, honey bun.
Honey bun?
All right, reality check here. Most of these bodies weren't even autopsied. You're gonna ask to exhume people's loved ones based on evidence tainted by Dr. Frankenstein here?
Listen, you inglorious bastard.
Let's focus, gentlemen. Okay, out of the 12, how many were autopsied?
A whopping 2. And one wasn't even a stroke victim.
Why so few?
Less than 1 in 25 elderly folks are ever autopsied. If it looks like they had a stroke...
Then they probably had a stroke. Do either of them have stored tissue samples?
Just a non-stroke victim. A Mrs. Wilson from Roanoke, Virginia.
That's something. Let's get the samples.
Yeah, except I know the chief ME there. He's a total ass. He'll make us jump through a week's worth of paperwork.
Give me the number. I'm not just any inglorious bastard. I'm an inglorious bastard with a badge.
So what I'm saying is, if the heroin was put into the sweaters in Thailand and Robert Castelli brought it back here for someone to sell, someone here has to be able to unbond the heroin from the fabric.
Yeah, hard to smoke a sweater.
Yeah, the dosage is, shall we say, severe. Not good for repeat business.
Let's hope Woody finds that second suitcase.
Yeah. In the meantime, if we can deconstruct the process, figure out the chemicals used to extract the heroin, maybe we can trace those chemicals to the people who bought them, eh?
Autopsy on a cardigan. A first for me.
Unit 10, I'm connecting you to the ER at VU Medical. They've got a male, 47 years old, came in a couple of hours ago, reportedly suffering from a heroin overdose.
Emergency.
Hey, this is Detective Woody Hoyt, Boston PD. Is the victim wearing an off-white sweater?
Yeah, that's right.
All right, nobody touches that sweater. Is the victim conscious?
Barely.
All right, ask him where he got it.
What?
Ask him where he got the damn sweater. Montello, on the ground now. Do not touch those sweaters. Do not touch those sweaters. Hands behind your head, on the ground, now. Do it. Freeze! Stop! Stop! Freeze! I said stop! Freeze! Get down here. Get down here. Your partner's already dead. You want to be dead too? How many sweaters you sell? How many sweaters you sell? One. Anybody else touch them? No, nobody. They're butt ugly and nobody wanted one, okay? You left them freezing out. These cheap-ass gloves saved your worthless life. You can't say the same for the 3 people your heroin killed.
Heroin? What are you talking about? I'm not a dealer. Look at me. I saw crappy sweaters on the street for $5 a pop.
Big fan nada. I ran the tissue samples for warfarin, Coumadin, any type of blood thinner, all negative.
Well, maybe Mrs. Wilson died naturally.
All right, we're in the 15th round here. We need a knockout. Time to start throwing some haymakers.
Great. We'll reduce the incomprehensible sports metaphors.
I'm saying I'm bringing Stanwood in. Look, sometimes all it takes is getting the guy in the hot seat, letting him know you're onto him. You know, who knows? Maybe I'll trip him up. What's the worst that could happen?
Oh, gee, I don't know. You screw things up, tip him off, he skips town.
All right, there's that. Yeah, but then again, just might work.
I don't like him.
Hi, Miss Daly. I hope I'm not disturbing you.
No.
I just came by to tell you that we found the bags that Robert brought back from Thailand. He didn't take heroin, Miss Daly. Not intentionally. They were in the clothes, in the bags, inside the clothes. He put on a sweater that was filled with heroin.
So, he didn't know?
No. It was an accident. He must have stolen one of the sweaters and put it on when he hit the cold air of Boston. Probably in the jetway ramp. Anyway, I just thought you should know that.
Thank you.
Anything?
I'm working on it.
Yeah, I can see that.
Dr. Macy and I have been working all night on getting heroin out of that sweater. But it's like an elven knot, you know? I just can't untangle it.
We haven't reached a dead end yet.
I have. This guy Pontillo was not the bag man. He's just some petty thief. He had no idea what he had.
So if Pontillo wasn't supposed to pick up the bags, then who was?
Well, you can bet they weren't going to trust Castelli to carry around something like $1 million worth of heroin for too long.
My guess is the second the bags hit baggage claim, they would have been all over them.
Okay, then somebody else is supposed to pick them up.
Yeah, but like who?
You still got that surveillance video from the baggage claim at Logan?
Yeah.
Scroll it forward.
I'm not seeing anything.
Keep going.
Stop. Play it. Stop.
You recognize him?
Yeah. I recognize him.
Boston PD, everybody relax. Everybody calm down. We're all gonna chill out so you can finish your drinks because nobody's moving and nobody's leaving. Remember to tip your waitresses.
What are you doing?
Where are the drugs?
I don't know.
You lose some bags at the airport?
What are you doing? What are you talking about?
This looks busy. Guess word gets out when a fine establishment such as this serves people what they're looking for.
Look, I'm not following you, Chief.
I'm not the chief, but I got a tape of you looking for your lost shipment. So why don't you tell me where the drugs are, and maybe I'll cut you a deal.
You can't just come in here without a warrant and bust up my bar.
You shut up! Listen, I can come in here and do whatever I want. This organization is going down. You are going down. So if you're gonna play ball with me, I suggest the time is now.
Woody, you got him. Canine found it under the floorboards, 8 bricks. That's over 16 kilos of heroin.
How much does it suck to be you? You find what we need to nail him?
Chemical process they're using? Davis may be the dealer, but there's no way he's the guy behind it. Technique's cutting edge. And if this dealer could go down and there'll be 100 more lined up to take the product, we have to stop the process. Problem is, it's going to take a genius to figure out what it is.
Okay, before we were stuck. We had the sweater, but no viable way of extracting the heroin until we got this. Now, each garment holds approximately ½ a pound of pure heroin. A simple chemical equation gives us the process. The actual weave of the sweater facilitates in the heroin bonding. Now, they put it together by liquefying crystal heroin with acetic anhydride and bam, some sodium quinol barbitone, and then lightly dipping the fabric into it, like that. But our friends in Thailand got greedy and they oversaturated it.
That's why it's so deadly.
90% tetrachloroethylene, 5% deionized water, 4% silver halide, 1% butyl peroxide. Check this out. Shazam, baby.
It's that easy.
Easy? You think that's easy? You know how hard I worked on that? With my butt off on that, Woody. I've been working all night. It's not like you day trippers. What?
Can you trace the ingredients?
Well, the deionized water and butyl peroxide you can get at any hardware store. Tetrachloroethylene is the main ingredient in dry cleaning. There's over 700 dry cleaners in the city of Boston alone. Silver halide is used in developing film. So you add up all the local hobbyists, weekend labs. Doesn't exactly narrow the field.
You're telling me we're looking for a photographer?
That's the key. You're welcome.
He looks so innocent.
An act. All I have to do is rip through his facade.
Using what for ammunition? We have nothing on him.
Watch me.
Matt, don't put on a show. Just figure out if we're right about him.
We decided to leave Mother Lebowski in Rhode Island, so we won't be needing your services after all.
I don't understand what's going on.
Your resume was very interesting. 12 employers, 7 deaths from stroke.
They were old.
Did you do the math, Owen? You know what the odds are? 10,217 to 1.
Why are you doing this? Why am I here?
The morgue found warfarin in Samuel Harvey's body. Now, how do you reckon it got there, Owen?
Warfarin?
I'm guessing you know what it is.
Of course I do, but I would never have given it to Mr. Harvey. It's contraindicated for someone with his blood pressure.
Yeah, but you like opening that portal to God, don't you, Owen?
Have you ever stood at the threshold between life and death, Detective?
You kill people to play God.
I don't kill people. I take care of them. I ease their burdens.
And when their time comes, I watch them slip away to a better place, where they can no longer be devastated by the neglect of their families, no longer be ravaged by disease, no longer feel any pain.
So, Buck, I'm thinking, that woman who died in Virginia.
We tried, Jordan. No blood thinner.
Well, stay with me here. She wasn't a good candidate for a stroke, but according to these records, she was on a ventilator for cardiopulmonary disease.
So, Vinathane, Fluoromar, any type of gaseous anesthetic.
Would have put her down like a sick animal. You know, I called an ex-boyfriend of mine at Boston General, and he was really interested in your theories on scleroderma and liver dysfunction. You should call him.
Fluoromar.
Yeah, Fluoromar.
You remember Dr. VJ, don't you?
Darlene Wilson. You remember her? The woman you killed in Virginia by pumping her full of Fluoromar?
Even if that were true, you've got the same problem as the detective here. How to tie it to me. You got no proof.
Proof exists. And since you were Mrs. Wilson's caregiver, I'm sure you remember her son is a Logan County judge. Would you really think he's gonna let you get away once we tell him what you did to his mother? You know, I think we ought to turn him over to Virginia. They got the death penalty there.
It's the electric chair in Virginia. You know how it works? They strap you in and juice you with 50,000 volts. Not pretty. Oh, I forgot. You like to stand at the portal between life and death.
Well, we can arrange that for you. Unless, of course, you want to confess to Samuel Harvey's murder here in Massachusetts, where there's no death penalty.
Hey, it shouldn't go that hard for you. I mean, he's an old guy. He's near death anyway. You can try to sell that Angel of Mercy story to the DA and the judge.
You're bluffing.
Oh, try me. Please. Try me.
Detective.
Hey, do you mind if we come in? We have a warrant. Sometimes it's right in front of your eyes, and you don't even notice it.
Excuse me?
Was it your idea to send Robert, or did he volunteer?
I don't know what you're...
All you had to do was pick up 2 little cases and leave them alone. Sounds easy enough. Except he made a mistake. Couldn't resist the temptation. Who's gonna find out? He opened them.
Why are you telling me all this?
Chromamat.
I take photographs, Detective.
Yeah, but what's gonna happen here is we're gonna take this canister back to the lab and link it to the heroin. See, your process leaves small traces behind. What do you think it felt like, Kate? Having 90% of pure heroin seep into every one of your pores. Your brain frying, your heart racing so fast. What hurts more? Losing him or losing the shipment?
Okay, I told him not to open the bags. It's the one thing that I didn't even think about.
I almost feel bad for you, Kate. Really, I do. Except you poured on the tears so well before. I'm beginning to think they're chemical, too. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. You have the right to an attorney. DEA says it goes a lot higher than Kate. She's already starting to give names.
It's amazing what people do to make a buck.
Listen, Doc, I know this case kind of got to me, but I want you to know that I'm okay. I put it behind me.
Woody, last time I checked, we were all human.
Hey.
So, everything's been a little strained around here lately. Come on, this place is a sieve.
Oh, well, sometimes professional disagreements breed solutions.
Yeah, all taken care of.
We're gonna leave it at that.
And if there was more to it, you'd tell me, right?
Of course
No
not.
way.
So, you two gentlemen want to buy a girl dinner?
Whoa. Why are we always buying you dinner?
Oh, please, there's two of you, there's one of me. Come on now.
For just a year, but always.